Hi, and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by Zack from the Final Fantasy VII series. I adore Zack as a character because he is such a dichotomous individual. Sure, he plays one of the most tragic and meaningful roles in the series, but he's also one of the biggest goofballs. Me? Gongaga. Zack is such a good contrasting character and partner to Cloud since he is able to help him lighten up in the face of adversity. He is fun and caring, but also strong and determined when it comes to life and his role as a soldier. It's no wonder why he draws people towards him, and I don't just mean characters within the game, I mean people in real life too. I can't come up with a dish inspired by Zack without bringing up one of my favorite scenes in the history of video games. No way. He just ate my hair. I'm not gonna lie, for the longest time I was thinking of a dish, I kept seriously considering a dish that had something to do with hair for this very reason. But alas, I figured that it wouldn't be very appetizing. What I did think about though was Zack's personality and what it reminded me of in a dish. I feel like Zack is so energetic that he would tolerate spicy dishes really well and would really enjoy a little kick in his food. He also is in good shape, so he'd like a dish that is delicious and protein-packed, but not too heavy. And lastly, Zack is very fun and vibrant, which I think matches the energy that I get from a fun night enjoying some flavorful Mexican food. So I decided on steak tacos with a spicy chimichurri sauce, and boy oh boy, the price of flavor was not steep, as tacos are so quick and easy to make. Here's what you'll need to make your own. 1 to 2 pounds of thin steak like skirt, flank, or round, orange juice, lime juice, olive oil, dark brown sugar, honey, garlic, dried oregano, chili powder, salt, taco tortillas, a white onion, a bunch of cilantro, a bunch of fresh parsley, apple cider vinegar, red pepper flakes, 2 to 4 serrano peppers, and ground cumin. Our first step is to make the spicy chimichurri sauce. In a food processor, you'll add 3 cloves of garlic, about 1 cup of fresh parsley, a half cup of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a half teaspoon of ground cumin, a half teaspoon of salt, and 2 to 4 serrano peppers. Of course, feel free to adjust how much spice you are adding to the chimichurri based on your own preferences. If you like a lot of spice, use more of the serrano peppers and add in the seeds from the pepper. If you would rather your sauce be more mild in spice, use less peppers and remove some of the seeds. You'll puree everything together until it becomes smooth, and for the best flavor, try to rest for at least an hour before using. We'll then begin the marinade for our steak. In a large bowl, we'll add a half cup of orange juice, a 1/4 cup of lime juice, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of honey, 6 minced cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of dried oregano, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir everything together and then add in your steak, making sure to leave the steak uncut during the marinating process. Make sure that the steak has been officially doused in the marinade, even if not all of the steak is fitting in the juices, and then place the bowl into the fridge to marinate for at least 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes have passed and you're ready to start cooking, take the steak out of the refrigerator so it can start coming up to room temperature before cooking. This will just help improve the sear on your steak. Once the steak is done marinating and you're ready to embrace your steak taco dreams, start heating a large skillet on medium heat at your stovetop. Once the surface is warm, add a drizzle of olive oil and then place your steak into the skillet. Cook for 3 to 5 minutes on the first side before flipping and cooking for another 3 to 5 minutes to improve the sear on your steak and make sure it is well cooked. For a medium rare steak, it is recommended that your steak reaches an internal temperature of at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit. When your steak is done to your liking, remove from the heat and allow it to rest on a cutting board for at least 5 minutes before slicing. We're getting close to the finish line in the victory fanfare. Our next step is to heat our tortillas. There's several ways you can go about heating your tortillas. You can warm them up in a microwave, or if you have a gas range, you can even heat the tortillas over the gas fire for a little bit. I ended up heating up on the stovetop with a small pan and a little bit of baking spray for just 1 to 2 minutes on each side. When warming your tortillas, you can also plan to use 1 tortilla per taco or 2. This choice is totally up to you, but if you're afraid that your tortillas may break or fall apart under your taco filling, feel free to use 2 tortillas. Lastly, we'll assemble our tacos. Slice your steak into smaller bite-sized pieces. You'll also slice and mince your white onion as well as roughly chop a bunch of cilantro. In each tortilla, place some of your sliced steak, then sprinkle with some of your minced onion, spoon and drizzle with the chimichurri sauce you made, and then top with some cilantro for garnish. Of course, if you have any taco toppings, fillings, or garnishes that are must-haves in your mind, feel free to use those as well. With that, our tacos are ready to serve. Like I said, tacos are so easy and quick to make, and they are so delicious. It's no wonder that Taco Tuesday is a staple in so many households, since it is such an easy and flavorful dish. And making your own sauce and marinating your protein can help take your tacos over the edge a little further. I love how fresh and vibrant these tacos turn out. And I love how you can play around with the spice in the chimichurri to put your mouth more or less on fire. Everything comes together so nicely in these tacos with such a wonderful flavor and mix of textures. I don't think Zack would be a bad cook, but I think he just would have more of a habit of stopping by a local eatery or food truck on his way home from a mission or training to grab tacos like these. After all, more time on his hands from avoiding cooking and cleaning dishes would mean more squats for him. I can picture Zack taking Aerith on a date to visit one of his favorite taco eateries, expecting Aerith to be too weak for the level of spice, but being unbelievably surprised to find out that Aerith has a better spice tolerance than him. However, if he took Cloud, he would absolutely get to show off his spice tolerance, as I'm sure Cloud would be sweating and chugging down water while trying to act like he was unaffected. Cloud definitely looks up to Zack for many reasons, but add his tenacity for spice to the list. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what food Zack reminds you of. Thanks for following along.